Hey everyone, welcome to English Conversation, the podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jason. Thanks so much for joining us today.
We're really excited about today's episode because we're going to talk about something that every English learner needs to understand, English tenses.
Oh yes, the famous English tenses. You know, Anna, I remember when I was learning Spanish, tenses were my biggest challenge.
Really? I didn't know you studied Spanish.
Yeah, for about 2 years. And let me tell you, understanding when to use different tenses was so confusing at first. But once I got it, everything became easier.
That's exactly why we're doing this episode. We want to make tenses simple and clear for our listeners. And the best part? We're going to use real conversations, just like this one.
Perfect. So where should we start?
Let's begin with the present simple tense. This is probably the first tense most people learn.
Right. So when do we use present simple?
We use it for habits, routines, facts, and things that are generally true. For example, I drink coffee every morning.
I wake up at 6:30 on weekdays.
The sun rises in the east.
Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius.
See? These are all present simple sentences. They describe regular actions or facts that don't change.
Now, let me ask you something, Anna. What time do you usually start work?
I usually start work at 9 in the morning. What about you?
I start at 8:30. I like to get an early start.
Do you drink coffee in the morning too?
Actually, no. I prefer tea. I drink green tea every morning.
Interesting. Notice what we're doing here, listeners. We're using present simple to talk about our daily routines.
Exactly. And the structure is pretty straightforward. For I, you, we, and they, we just use the base form of the verb. I drink, you start, we work, they live.
But for he, she, and it, we add an S or ES to the end of the verb. He drinks, she starts, it works.
Let me give you more examples. My brother lives in Canada. He works as a teacher. He teaches English to high school students.
That's great. And for negative sentences, we use do not or don't for I, you, we, they, and does not or doesn't for he, she, it.
Right. I don't like spicy food. She doesn't watch television very often.
For questions, we put do or does at the beginning. Do you speak French? Does he play any instruments?
Anna, do you exercise regularly?
Yes, I do. I go to the gym 3 times a week. Do you exercise?
I try to. I run in the park on weekends, but I don't go to the gym.
That's still good. Running is excellent exercise.
Thanks. You know, I think it's important to mention that we also use present simple for things that are always true or scientific facts.
Absolutely. For example, the Earth goes around the sun. Plants need water to grow. Cats sleep a lot.
My cat sleeps about 16 hours a day.
Wow, that's a lot. But yes, that's a fact about cats in general, so we use present simple.
Here's another important use. We use present simple for scheduled events in the future, especially with transportation and events.
Good point. The train leaves at 5 o'clock. The movie starts at 7:30. The store opens at 9 morning tomorrow.
Even though these are future events, we use present simple because they're scheduled and fixed.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about some common time expressions we use with present simple.
Always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. These are frequency adverbs.
I always brush my teeth before bed. He usually takes the bus to work. We often eat dinner together. They sometimes go to the beach in summer.
She rarely eats fast food. I never drink soda.
We also use time expressions like every day, every week, every morning, on Mondays, in the summer.
I check my email every day. We have team meetings every Monday. She visits her parents every month.
So, listeners, present simple is really about routines, habits, facts, and general truths. It's the foundation of English grammar.
And once you understand this tense well, the other tenses become much easier to learn.
Before we move on, let's do a quick practice. Jason, what do you do on Sunday mornings?
On
All right, let's move on to our next tense.
So now let's talk about present continuous. This is also called present progressive.
Right, and this tense is very different from present simple, even though they both talk about the present.
So what's the difference?
Present continuous is for actions happening right now, at this moment, or for temporary situations.
The structure is subject plus am, is, or are plus verb with ing.
I am talking. You are listening. He is working. We are learning. They are studying.
Right now, we are recording a podcast. You, the listener, are learning about English tenses.
Exactly. These actions are happening at this very moment.
Anna, what are you doing right now?
Well, I'm sitting in the studio. I'm speaking into a microphone. I'm looking at my notes. What are you doing?
I'm sitting across from you. I'm drinking some water. I'm thinking about what to say next.
Perfect examples. Now, we also use present continuous for temporary situations, even if they're not happening at this exact second.
Can you give an example?
Sure. I'm reading a really good book these days. This doesn't mean I'm reading it right this second, but it's a temporary activity in my life right now.
I see. So I could say I'm learning to play guitar, even if I'm not holding a guitar at this moment. It's something I'm doing in this period of my life.
Exactly. Here's another use. We use present continuous for changing situations or trends.
The weather is getting colder. More people are working from home these days. Technology is changing rapidly.
Great examples. Now, there are some verbs we don't usually use in continuous form. These are called stative verbs.
Like what?
Verbs about thoughts, feelings, senses, and possession. For example, know, understand, believe, love, hate, want, need, see, hear, smell, have when it means possess.
So we say I know the answer, not I am knowing the answer.
Correct. I love this song, not I am loving this song. Well, actually, some people do say I'm loving it, but traditionally it's not correct.
I understand what you mean, not I am understanding what you mean.
Exactly. Now let's move to present perfect. This is where things get interesting.
Oh yes, present perfect. This one confuses a lot of learners.
It does, but it's not that complicated once you understand the concept. Present perfect connects the past to the present.
The structure is have or has plus the past participle of the verb.
I have worked. You have seen. He has finished. We have eaten. They have traveled.
So when do we use it?
We use it for experiences in our life up to now. I have visited Paris. She has tried sushi. They have seen that movie.
We don't say exactly when, we just know it happened sometime before now.
Right. If we say when, we use past simple instead. I visited Paris last year, not I have visited Paris last year.
Anna, have you ever been to Japan?
Yes, I have. I went there in 2019. It was amazing. Have you been there?
No, I haven't, but I've always wanted to go. I've heard it's beautiful.
Notice what we did there. Have you been is present perfect for life experience. I went is past simple because I mentioned the specific time.
Good catch. We also use present perfect for actions that started in the past and continue to the present.
Yes, I have lived in this city for 5 years. He has worked at that company since 2020.
We use for with a period of time. For 5 years, for 3 months, for a long time.
And we use since with a specific starting point. Since 2020, since January, since I was a child.
How long have you been a teacher, Anna?
I've been a teacher for 8 years. What about you? How long have you been interested in languages?
I've been interested in languages since high school. That's when I started learning Spanish.
Wonderful. Another use of present perfect is for recent actions that have a result in the present.
Like what?
I've lost my keys. This means I don't have them now. She's broken her phone. It's not working now.
Oh, I see. The action happened recently, and we can see or feel the result now.
Exactly. We often use just, already, and yet with present perfect.
I've just finished my coffee. She's already left. Have you done your homework yet?
Just means very recently. Already means sooner than expected. Yet is for questions and negatives, meaning up to now.
I haven't eaten lunch yet. Has the mail arrived yet?
Perfect. So present perfect is really about connecting past and present.
While present can.
Now let's go back in time and talk about past tenses. The most basic one is past simple.
This is probably the most common past tense. We use it for completed actions in the past.
Right, the action started and finished in the past. I walked to work yesterday. She called me last night. We watched a movie on Saturday.
The structure is pretty simple for regular verbs. We just add ed to the base verb. Walk becomes walked. Call becomes called. Watch becomes watched.
But there are many irregular verbs that don't follow this pattern.
Oh yes, the irregular verbs. Go becomes went, not goed. Eat becomes ate, not eated. See becomes saw, not seed.
These irregular verbs can be tricky because you just have to memorize them.
Unfortunately, yes, but the good news is that the form is the same for all subjects. I went, you went, he went, she went, we went, they went.
That's true. Unlike present simple, where we add s for he, she, it, past simple is the same for everyone.
For negatives, we use did not or didn't plus the base verb. I didn't go, she didn't call, they didn't watch.
And for questions, we use did at the beginning. Did you go? Did she call? Did they watch?
Anna, what did you do last weekend?
Last weekend, I visited my sister. We went shopping on Saturday and had dinner at a nice restaurant. On Sunday, I stayed home and cleaned my apartment. What about you?
I had a quiet weekend. I finished reading a book I started last month. I also cooked a big meal on Sunday. I made pasta with homemade sauce.
That sounds delicious. Did you invite anyone over?
Yes, I invited a few friends. We ate together and played board games. It was really fun.
Lovely. Notice, everyone, we're using past simple because these are completed actions. They happened last weekend and they're finished.
Exactly. We use past simple with time expressions like yesterday, last week, last month, last year, ago, in 2020, when I was young.
I graduated from university 5 years ago. He started his job last month. They moved to this city in 2018.
When did you start learning English, Anna?
I started learning English when I was in elementary school, so that was about 20 years ago. Wow, time flies.
It really does. Now, let's talk about past continuous. This is also called past progressive.
Past continuous is for actions that were in progress at a specific time in the past.
The structure is was or were plus verb with ing. I was working, you were sleeping, he was studying, we were talking, they were playing.
We use was for I, he, she, and it. We use were for you, we, and they.
So when do we use this tense?
We use it to describe what was happening at a specific moment in the past. At 8 o'clock last night, I was watching television.
Yesterday at this time, I was driving home from work.
We also use it for two actions happening at the same time in the past. While I was cooking, my husband was setting the table.
While they were studying, their roommate was listening to music.
Another common use is when a longer action was interrupted by a shorter action.
Oh, this is important. We use past continuous for the longer action and past simple for the shorter action that interrupted it.
Exactly. I was taking a shower when the phone rang. We were having dinner when the doorbell rang.
He was sleeping when the alarm went off. They were walking in the park when it started to rain.
See the pattern? The continuous action was in progress and then something happened to interrupt it.
This is really useful for storytelling. It helps create a scene.
Absolutely. Let me tell you what happened to me last week. I was walking to the coffee shop when I saw my old friend from college. I was so surprised.
What did you do?
We stopped and talked for about 20 minutes. It was great to see her. She told me she was living in the neighborhood now.
Wait, she was living? That's past continuous too.
Yes, she used past continuous because she was describing a temporary situation at that time in the past.
I see. So past continuous can also describe temporary situations in the past, just like present continuous does for the present.
Exactly. Last year, I was working at a different company. It was a temporary job.
A few months ago, he was studying for his exams. That was a temporary period of intense studying.
Right. Now here's something interesting. We don't use past continuous with stative verbs, just like we don't use present continuous with them.
So we say, I knew the answer, not I was knowing the answer.
Correct. At that moment, I wanted to leave, not I was wanting to leave.
Makes sense. Let's talk about how past simple and past continuous work together in storytelling.
Great idea. When we tell a story, we often use past continuous to set the scene and past simple for the main events.
Can you give an example?
Sure. It was a dark night. The wind was blowing and the trees were moving. I was walking home alone when suddenly I heard a strange noise. I stopped and looked around, but I didn't see anything.
Ooh, spooky. See how the continuous verbs create the atmosphere and the simple verbs tell what happened.
All right, now we're getting into some more advanced territory. Let's talk about past perfect.
Past perfect can seem complicated, but it's actually quite logical once you understand why we need it.
So why do we need it?
We need it when we're talking about two different times in the past, and we want to make clear which action happened first.
Ah, so it's about showing the order of past events.
Exactly. The structure is had plus the past participle. I had finished, you had seen, she had left, we had eaten, they had arrived.
And we use the same form for all subjects. I had, you had, he had, she had, we had, they had.
That's right. So let me give you an example. When I arrived at the party, most people had already left.
So first people left the party, then you arrived. The leaving happened before the arriving.
Exactly. We use past perfect for the earlier action, had left, and past simple for the later action, arrived.
Here's another example. I had never tried sushi before I went to Japan.
Perfect. First, you had never tried sushi. That was your experience up to a point in the past. Then you went to Japan. That's when you tried it for the first time.
Right, the not trying happened before the going.
We often use past perfect with words like before, after, already, just, never, and by the time.
She had already eaten when I called her. He had just left when we arrived. They had never seen snow before they moved to Canada.
By the time we got to the cinema, the movie had started.
Anna, tell me about a time you used past perfect in real life.
Okay, let me think. Oh, I remember. Last month, I wanted to buy concert tickets, but when I checked online, they had already sold out.
So first the tickets sold out, then you checked. The selling out was the earlier action.
Exactly. I was so disappointed because I had been looking forward to that concert for weeks.
Oh, wait, you just used past perfect continuous. Had been looking forward.
I did. Good catch. Should we talk about that now?
Yes, let's do it. Past perfect continuous is had been plus verb with ing.
We use it for actions that were in progress before another action in the past. It emphasizes the duration or continuity of the earlier action.
So it's like past continuous but pushed even further back in time.
That's a good way to think about it. For example, I had been working for 3 hours when my boss called me into her office.
So you were working for 3 hours, that's the continuous action. Then your boss called, that's the interrupting action.
Exactly. The working was in progress for a period of time before the calling happened.
They had been living in Paris for 2 years when they decided to move to London.
He had been studying English for 6 months before he took the exam.
We often use past perfect continuous with for and since, just like we do with present perfect continuous.
Right. She had been waiting for 30 minutes when the bus finally arrived. I had been feeling tired since morning, so I went to bed early.
Now, what's the difference between past perfect and past perfect continuous?
Good question. Past perfect focuses on the completion of an action. Past perfect continuous focuses on the duration or ongoing nature of an action.
Can you give an example of both?
Sure. I had read the book means I finished reading it. I had been reading the book means I was in the process of reading it for some time.
When I arrived, she had cleaned the house. This means the cleaning was complete.
When I arrived, she had been cleaning the house. This means she was in the middle of cleaning and maybe she was still cleaning when you arrived.
I see the difference now. One is about completion, the other is about duration and process.
Exactly. Here's another example. He was tired because he had worked all day. This focuses on the fact that he worked.
He was tired because he had been working all day. This emphasizes the continuous nature of the work and explains why he was tired.
Perfect understanding. Now, in everyday conversation, native speakers don't always use past perfect when they should.
That's true. Sometimes we just use past simple for both actions if the order is clear from context.
Right. I ate breakfast and went to work. We understand that eating happened first, then going to work, even though both verbs are in past simple.
But when the order isn't clear or when we want to emphasize that one action happened before another, we use past perfect.
Exactly. When I got home, I realized I had left my keys at the office.
The leaving happened first, but you realized it later. Past perfect makes this clear.
Here's a tricky one. After she had finished her homework, she watched television.
First homework, then television. The word after already tells us the order, but we still use past perfect to be extra clear.
Some people might say after she finished her homework, she watched television. That's also acceptable because after makes the order clear.
But using past perfect is more precise and more formal.
Right. In writing, especially academic or professional writing, past perfect is important.
In casual conversation, we might skip it if the meaning is clear.
But it's still good to know how to use it correctly. All right, let's talk about the future. There are actually several ways to talk about future in English.
That's right. It's not just one tense. We have different forms depending on what we want to express.
Let's start with future simple. This is the most basic way to talk about future.
The structure is will plus the base verb. I will go. You will see. She will call. We will meet. They will arrive.
We can also use the contraction. I'll go, you'll see, she'll call, we'll meet, they'll arrive.
So when do we use will?
We use will for predictions about the future based on what we think or believe. I think it will rain tomorrow. She will probably be late. The meeting will be interesting.
We also use will for spontaneous decisions, decisions we make at the moment of speaking.
Right. For example, the phone is ringing. I'll answer it. Oh, you look tired. I'll make you some coffee.
These are decisions you make right now, not plans you made before.
Exactly. We also use will for promises, offers, and requests.
I'll help you with your homework. I promise I'll call you tomorrow. Will you marry me?
Will you help me carry these bags? I'll be there at 6 o'clock. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone.
For negatives, we use will not or won't. I won't be late. She won't forget. They won't mind.
For questions, we put will at the beginning. Will you come to the party? Will it be cold tomorrow? Will they arrive on time?
Now, there's another way to talk about future using going to.
Yes, going to is very common. The structure is am, is, or are plus going to plus the base verb.
I'm going to travel. You're going to love it. He's going to call. We're going to meet. They're going to arrive.
We use going to for plans and intentions, things we've already decided to do.
What are you going to do this weekend, Anna?
I'm going to visit my parents. I'm going to help them with some gardening. What about you?
I'm going to stay home and relax. I'm going to watch some movies and cook a nice meal.
See, these are plans we've already thought about. We're not deciding right now.
Right. If someone asks, what are you going to do tonight, and you haven't thought about it yet, you might say, I don't know, maybe I'll watch a movie, using will because you're deciding now.
Good example. We also use going to for predictions based on present evidence.
What do you mean?
Look at those dark clouds. It's going to rain. Be careful with that glass. You're going to drop it.
Oh, I see. We can see signs now that tell us what will happen soon.
Exactly. The difference is will is for predictions based on opinion or belief, and going to is for predictions based on evidence we can see.
I think the economy will improve next year. That's an opinion, so we use will.
Look at the economy right now. It's going to improve. That's based on current evidence, so we use going to.
Great distinction. Now let's talk about future continuous.
Future continuous is will be plus verb with ing. I'll be working, you'll be sleeping, she'll be traveling, we'll be studying, they'll be playing.
We use this for actions that will be in progress at a specific time in the future.
Right. This time tomorrow, I'll be flying to New York. At 8 o'clock tonight, we'll be having dinner.
Next week at this time, I'll be sitting on a beach in Hawaii.
Lucky you. We also use future continuous for things that will happen as a normal part of a future situation.
Can you explain that more?
Sure. Don't worry about picking me up. I'll be passing your house anyway, so I can give you a ride.
Oh, so passing your house is something that will naturally happen as part of my journey.
Exactly. It's not a special plan. It's just what will be happening.
We'll be seeing John at the party, so we can give him the message then.
Perfect. Seeing John will happen naturally because we're all going to the same party.
Future continuous can also sound more polite than future simple for questions.
That's true. Will you be using the car tomorrow? Sounds more polite than will you use the car tomorrow?
Will you be joining us for dinner? Sounds softer than will you join us for dinner?
It's a subtle difference, but it makes the question sound less direct.
Now, here's something interesting. We can use present continuous for future arrangements.
Yes, this is very common. I'm meeting Sarah tomorrow. We're having a party next Saturday. He's flying to London next week.
These are definite arrangements, usually with a specific time.
Right, and we can use present simple for scheduled future events, especially with transportation and timetables.
The train leaves at 6:30. The movie starts at 8. The store opens at 9 tomorrow.
So we actually have many ways to talk about future in English.
Will for predictions and spontaneous decisions, going to for plans and evidence-based predictions, future continuous for. Now we're going to talk about two more future forms that are less common but still important.
These are future perfect and future perfect continuous. They might sound complicated, but they follow the same logic as the perfect tenses we've already learned.
Let's start with future perfect. What's the structure?
It's will have plus the past participle. I will have finished, you will have seen, she will have completed, we will have arrived, they will have left.
And when do we use it?
We use it to talk about an action that will be completed before a specific time in the future.
So we're standing in the present, looking forward to a point in the future, and talking about something that will be finished by that time.
Exactly. By next month, I will have finished this project. By the time you arrive, I will have cooked dinner. By this time next year, she will have graduated from university.
The key word is often by. By a certain time, something will be complete.
Right. Let me give you a personal example. By the end of this year, I will have worked at my company for 10 years.
So right now, you haven't reached 10 years yet, but when December comes, you will have reached that milestone.
Exactly. What about you, Jason? Can you think of something you will have done by a certain time?
Let me think. By the time I'm 40, I will have visited at least 20 countries. Right now, I've visited 15, so I have 5 more to go.
That's a great goal. See how future perfect helps us talk about accomplishments we expect to achieve by a certain point.
Yes, it's really useful for goals and milestones. By next summer, I will have saved enough money to buy a car.
By the time she retires, she will have taught thousands of students.
We also use future perfect to make predictions about the present or past.
That's an interesting use. Can you explain?
Sure, imagine your friend is late. You might say, "Don't worry, he will have missed the bus." You're making a guess about what happened.
Or if someone isn't answering their phone, you might say, she will have gone to bed already. You're guessing about the present situation.
It's a way of making logical assumptions.
I see. So it's not always about the future. Sometimes it's about guessing what has already happened.
Exactly. Now let's talk about future perfect continuous.
This one is will have been plus verb with ing. I will have been working, you will have been studying, she will have been living, we will have been waiting, they will have been playing.
This is probably the most complex tense in English.
It is complex, but the logic is the same as other perfect continuous tenses. It emphasizes the duration of an action up to a point in the future.
So we're focusing on how long something will have been happening.
Right. By next month, I will have been working here for 5 years. By the time you arrive, I will have been waiting for 2 hours. Next week, we will have been living in this house for 10 years.
The emphasis is on the continuous nature and duration of the action.
Exactly. Compare these two sentences. By June, I will have studied English for 3 years. By June, I will have been studying English for 3 years.
What's the difference?
The first one, with future perfect, just states the fact. The second one, with future perfect continuous, emphasizes the ongoing process and duration.
So the continuous form makes it feel more active and ongoing.
Yes, it also often implies that the action will continue even after that point in the future.
Can you give another example?
Sure. Next month, he will have been running his business for 20 years. This emphasizes the continuous effort over those 20 years.
And it suggests he'll probably continue running it after that.
Exactly. Now, I have to be honest, native speakers don't use these tenses very often in everyday conversation.
That's true. They're more common in formal writing or when we really need to emphasize the timing or duration.
Right. In casual speech, we might just say, by next month, I'll be here for 5 years, instead of, I will have been working here for 5 years.
But it's still important to understand these tenses, especially for reading and formal communication.
Absolutely. And they're often tested in English exams.
That's very true. Let me ask you something, Anna. By the time this podcast episode ends, how long will we have been talking?
Well, we started about 40 minutes ago and we have about 20 more minutes to go, so by the end, we will have been talking for about an hour.
Perfect use of future perfect continuous.
Thank you. You know, thinking about all these tenses, it's amazing how much information we can convey just by changing the verb form.
It really is. English tenses allow us to be very precise about time, duration, completion, and the relationship between different actions.
And once you understand the system, it becomes much easier to choose the right tense.
The key is understanding not just the form, but the meaning and purpose of each tense.
Exactly. It's not about memorizing rules, it's about understanding what you want to communicate. All right, we've covered a lot of ground today. Let's review all the tenses we've discussed.
Great idea. Let's start with the present tenses. We have present simple for habits, routines, and facts.
I drink coffee every morning. The sun rises in the east. She works at a bank.
Then we have present continuous for actions happening now or temporary situations.
I'm drinking coffee right now. She's working on a special project this month. The weather is getting warmer.
And present perfect for experiences, actions that started in the past and continue to now, or recent actions with present results.
I've been to Japan. I've lived here for 5 years. I've lost my keys.
We also mentioned present perfect continuous for emphasizing the duration of an ongoing action.
I've been studying English for 3 years. She's been working all day. How long have you been waiting?
Now the past tenses, past simple for completed actions in the past.
I went to the store yesterday. She called me last night. We watched a movie on Saturday.
Past continuous for actions in progress at a specific time in the past.
I was sleeping when you called. They were having dinner at 7 o'clock. While I was cooking, he was setting the table.
Past perfect for actions that happened before another action in the past.
When I arrived, everyone had left. I had never tried sushi before I went to Japan. She had already eaten when I called.
And past perfect continuous for emphasizing the duration of an action before another past action.
I had been working for 3 hours when my boss called. They had been living there for 2 years when they decided to move.
Then we have the future forms. Will for predictions, spontaneous decisions, promises, and offers.
It will rain tomorrow. I'll help you. I'll call you later. Will you marry me?
Going to for plans and predictions based on evidence.
I'm going to visit my parents this weekend. Look at those clouds. It's going to rain.
Future continuous for actions in progress at a specific time in the future.
This time tomorrow, I'll be flying to New York. At 8 tonight, we'll be having dinner. By this time next year, I will have finished this project. By this time next year, she will have graduated.
And future perfect continuous for emphasizing the duration of an action up to a point in the future.
By next month, I will have been working here for 5 years. Next week, we will have been living here for 10 years.
Wow, that's 12 different tenses or forms.
It is a lot, but remember, you don't need to use all of them all the time.
Right. Native speakers use some tenses much more than others in everyday conversation.
The most common ones are present simple, present continuous, past simple, and will or going to for future.
If you master those 4, you can communicate most everyday ideas.
The other tenses are important for more specific situations and for more advanced communication.
Now let's give some practical tips for learning and using tenses.
First tip, don't try to learn all the tenses at once. Focus on 1 or 2 at a time.
Second tip, learn tenses in context, not in isolation. See how they're used in real sentences in conversations.
Third tip, pay attention to time expressions. Words like yesterday, now, tomorrow, already, yet, since, for, while, when. These words often signal which tense to use.
Fourth tip, practice by talking about your own life. Describe your daily routine using present simple. Talk about what you did yesterday using past simple. Share your plans using going to.
Fifth tip, read and listen to English as much as possible. Notice which tenses are used and why.
Finally, sixth tip, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning.
Absolutely. Even if you use the wrong tense, people will usually understand you.
And the more you practice, the more natural it will become.
Seventh tip, think about the meaning you want to express, not just the rule. Ask yourself, am I talking about a habit or something happening now? Did this action finish or is it still relevant? Did one action happen before another?
That's excellent advice. Understanding the purpose of each tense is more important than memorizing rules.
Exactly. Language is about communication, not just grammar rules.
Now, before we finish, let's do a quick challenge. I'll describe a situation and you tell me which tense to use.
Okay, I'm ready.
You want to talk about your daily morning routine.
Present simple. I wake up at 7, I have breakfast, I go to work.
Good. Now you want to describe what you're doing at this exact moment.
Present continuous. I'm sitting in the studio, I'm talking to Jason, I'm recording a podcast.
Perfect. You want to tell me about your vacation last summer.
Past simple. I went to Italy, I visited Rome and Florence, I ate amazing food.
Excellent. You want to tell me about your plans for next weekend.
Going to. I'm going to relax at home, I'm going to read a book, I'm going to cook a nice meal.
Great job. See, when you think about the meaning, choosing the right tense becomes easier.
It really does. Well, Jason, I think we've covered everything we wanted to cover today.
We certainly have. This has been a comprehensive tour of English tenses.
I hope our listeners found it helpful and not too overwhelming.
Remember, learning tenses takes time. Be patient with yourself.
Practice regularly, use English in real situations, and don't worry about being perfect.
The goal is communication, and you're already on your way.
Thank you so much for listening to English Conversation, the podcast.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with other English learners.
And keep practicing those tenses.
Until next time, keep learning and keep speaking English.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.